This is a good fish. Double header on a vexed. Well, I'll tell you what, I can just go home now. G'day fishos. So I thought I'd take you through some of my gear before we head out tomorrow. Weather's going to be a bit suspect, and I say that on the basis that looks like there's some strong offshores tomorrow. And also we're just coming in after a couple of big storms here in Perth, so I don't like the chances of the water clarity. After a couple of big storms like that we've just recently had, I do tend to find that the fish are harder to entice. But look, we'll see how we go tomorrow. But we'll go through some of the gear that I'm going to use tomorrow, and also the bait, and explain some of my things that I do to have better success out there on the water. So we'll take you through some of the rods and reels that we're going to be using tomorrow. Got a new favourite at the moment, which is this setup here. So I've got a Shimano Ochia jigger. This is a 1500 HG custom, the F custom. These are pretty awesome for jig and reels, very light. I fish light. There's only P 1.5 braid on this, and yeah, fabulous reels, not a lot of drag, but to be honest, people think a Dhufish are, how do I say, hard fighting fish, when really they aren't. They tend to give up quite early in the piece, as you probably know, and they start to float, so not a lot of dirty fighting generally either, the grounder fish, so I don't need a lot of drag to pull them out the holes and things like that. So alright, now we'll run into the rod. So I'll turn it around the right way for you so you can read it. This is an Assassin Pitchmaster slow jig, P 1.2 to 2.5, so right in that range. There's the model number for you if you like the model numbers, and yeah, the jig weights. So 280 gram jig weight's pretty good, considering that I use bottom meats generally, or jigs around that 200 gram mark, or 100 to 150, 200 gram mark, depending on depths. But yeah, fabulous rods, and you'll see these in action tomorrow, this one particularly. And I'll show you a trick what I do with this, the base of the rod, to give it some protection in a moment. Now my spare rod that I use is this one here, which is has a diacetate. So these are fabulous reels. I've been using this in my videos up till date, and I've really enjoyed using this reel. Personally, I do like the overheads better, especially for bottom bashing. I just sort of changed the spin for a while for something different. This has got a PE3 braid on it, and so yeah, this is a rod, an Assassin spin. Hang on, I'll turn it around the right way again. This is an Assassin Spin Master slow jig, 6.3, P 1.5 to 3. Jig weight again is well up there, about 330 grams, and there's the model number for you. Alright, so you can see on this rod I've got this protective cover, and I'll put one of these on my rod in a moment, on this other rod. Yeah, these are just basically electrical conduit, spiral wound anaconda conduit. You can get these like eBay or most cheap places, China, like, I don't know, AliExpress or Temu, whatever your preference is. Before I run into the terminal tackle, I'll just show you what I do. So this is this whole length of this anaconda spiral conduit that I've bought. It only costs like a couple of bucks. You see a lot of people wrap electrical tape and things like that around these to protect them, especially when they're in rod holders. The rod holders, they can bounce around, and it starts to damage the base of your rod right here. You'll see these scratches and things come up. Obviously these provide protection, but also it doesn't leave a sticky residue such as electrical tape, if you were to use electrical tape, that is. So how you do it is you basically just thread it on. It's a bit hard with the camera in the way of my face. Alright, and then you just wrap it around like this. You'll see it just sits naturally on the rod, and this thing is bloody tight as well, so they don't slide around that much if you get the right diameter. I think this is 0.8 of a centimetre, or can't remember. I think this is 0.8 from memory. So you just wrap it up. Make sure it's nice and snug and tight on there, like that. And then when you get to the end, you just get some scissors and you nip it off, like that. And you're good to go. Cheap protection for the rods. And that permanently stays on there, it doesn't affect me. It's solid on there, can't slide around, and fabulous. I'm not sure if I can patent this idea, but it's something I'll come up with. Alright, now we'll run through the terminal tackle, and then we'll start talking about bait. So if you watch my videos enough, you know that I use these vexed bottom meats. You get them in two different styles, which is with the octopus and with these little squiddy things. To be honest, neither here or there for dewies, but if you got anything with teeth, generally these little squiddy things don't last too long. You can see they're already starting to get nipped off. Yeah, but these octopus ones do tend to last a bit longer. I think they call them a bottom meat deluxe. I don't know why this one's labelled incorrectly. Now some of the colours that I prefer to use, definitely my favourite is the orange glow. Don't know why, it's just something I've sort of leaned towards over the years. I've been using these for a long time, by the way. This is nothing new. Might be new to people recently, and you know, you've got a lot of competitors such as Jime and Snapbait and Angry Oceans and all these other brands. To be honest, I kind of feel like I'm loyal to the people that invented this idea, which was vexed, with those dicta meats. If you've not seen them before, quite funny. And these are very effective, and for me on Dhufish particularly, and that's what I'm going to target tomorrow. We'll try and find some new ground. Alright, so another colour I like to use is this abalone shell one. I think it just gives a bit of shimmer, particularly if you're in shallower water, especially if the sun's high. But we won't be using that one tomorrow. But the one I will be using tomorrow, another favourite colour, is these pink Lumo glows. And this is one I've already caught two big Dhufish on, I think a 10.5 and a 15.5 kilo Dhufish, and you can see nothing wrong with the rig at all. Actually the hook points are staying in, which is great. I do find, I think there's a good example here, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but that hook point there has been damaged, and that's from a bone hook. Hooked into a bone on a Dhufish and sort of snapped the point off or bent it, which is pretty common with stainless steel hooks, unfortunately. And the only other option is you can go high carbon, but then I guess high carbon are prone to rusting and other things, so really it's give or take. Yeah, it depends on how long you intend on using the hooks. Like I said, I use these for multiple trips, so I do like the stainless steel as they don't corrode, and they can live in your tackle box full of water or salt, and they'll still be nice and ready for you to go next time. So you can see I've used this one, it's hit the bottom a fair bit, and also in this one as well. Alright, so in terms of the leader, so tomorrow we'll be using the 1.5 braid. I've done a FG knot. I do like the FG knots because they slide in and out of the guides quite easily. Just be careful, FG knots, don't go through the guides very much if you can avoid it, because they do tend to come undone sometimes. Otherwise you can do an Albright, they're quite popular as well, but I do like the FG knots. And the leader I'm using is 100 pound. I generally use a harder, not a supple one, something in between. I guess. I haven't got it here with me, but if you're interested, just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook and I'll happily give across the details. In terms of the connection, just straight onto the hook, don't use any swivels. That's a uni knot. I'll put it up on screen what a uni knot is. I think it's just a lot more simpler than a blood knot and easier to tie. Now when you do catch fish, just always check the line and the for abrasion, because jewfish do have raspy teeth, and they will tend to rasp your leader a fair bit and potentially cause it to snap a bit prematurely. So 100 pound, quite heavy, I get that, but if you got a big jewfish that's going to rally you into some reef, you want to make sure that you got some half a chance of getting it out. It's a bit frosted up, but this is octopus, so some octopus I've caught. This is locally sourced, locally caught. So I live in Rockingham, a Rockingham suburb I guess, and I go out in Coburn Sound. There's plenty in Coburn Sound. And this is squid that I caught yesterday in Coburn Sound, and I'll be using squid potentially, but my favourite go-to is octopus for the bottom meats, mainly because it lasts on the hooks, especially when you got pickers, and also it looks very similar to the little eels that they eat quite regularly. You find them in the guts of the jewfish, and as I've previously mentioned in other videos, is you always open the stomachs just to check what they're eating, and that way you can match your sort of baits or presentation of your baits at least anyway to something similar, so it feels a bit more natural. And I guess as is the squid, I use either the heads or the cut up the bodies, or even use them whole on the bottom meats depending. So these ones are quite small, and you'll probably see if I line up a bottom meat against the head, they line up quite nicely, so I'll probably use these whole tomorrow. And yeah, big baits catch big fish basically. So yeah, that's a run through the gear. I guess also it's worth probably pointing out, I do use reel covers when I head out, just stop them being bashed around. These are just cheapies off online from China, just little bags that just give you a bit of protection, so they wrap right around your reels like so, and basically just provide a bit of protection as you're heading out, and your boat's bouncing around. Quite easy to pop on and quite easy to pop off should you need to. So anyway, I hope this advice is good for you, and yeah, we'll see you out in the water tomorrow. Beautiful sunrise. G'day fellow fishers. Weather's not as good as I thought it was going to be today. I should have went out yesterday, but hey, it's always the thing about these things. You can't always pick them. So plan is we'll head out, we'll see if we can find some jewfish, and I'll walk you through some of the sounder shots, also just some of the tips and things that I look for when I'm looking for dewies, and hopefully they aid you in the future. We'll see how we go with this weather. There's a bit of rain about today, looks a bit shit to be honest, but yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll see you out there. Just a word of advice, always make sure you log on and always make sure you log off, because there's nothing worse than these volunteers that we rely on and have to chase around and figure out whether you made it home safely. So make sure you always log on and log off. Play it safe out there guys, you never know what might happen. I'm solo today, so definitely I'll be logging on. Ugly looking rain clouds out there. some advice, especially to those newcomers to Dhu fishing. Probably the best advice I can give you is stop relying on your mate's GPS marks. Actually go out there and find your own. And don't look for big structure, look for small structure. There's a few reasons why I say this is, as much as you like your friends, they tend to not give the best marks. They keep those ones close to under the hat, you could say. And also, in terms of big marks, big structures, generally they're the ones that are found first, right? And also, generally there are on your board maps that you can buy, like Navionics and C-Map, stuff like that. So, that being said, I'm a firm believer that the best marks are the smallest marks, and they'll produce the biggest fish. And you'll have these spots for a long time if you look after them. So what I mean by look after them is, don't give them out, of course, but also make sure that you preserve the spot. So you see quite a few videos now and you see me catch some big Dhu fish. These aren't all on the same spots. These are all different and new marks every time. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's the honest truth. Now, I might pull these spots and I'll come back in about 6 to 12 months time and I'll give it another crack, and guess what? There'll be another big Dhu fish there. So I think people kind of rely on these marks all the time, and if you keep going back to the same marks and flogging it, there's going to be nothing left. And then you'll be trying to find a new mark with fish on it again. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope this helps you on your fishing journey, particularly red demersals. And always remember, only catch what you need. You see me release a few fish, of course, but that's mainly because I feel fairly confident that they will release. I bring them up slowly, they're on board unlike here. And if they don't release, then I'll keep them. But yeah, I hope this helps you, this advice. It's something that I've self-taught. I've been doing this in my own boat now for over 20 years. And when I first started out, I used to ask for GPS marks or go with my mates. They give me GPS marks, and yeah, it just seemed to be mostly, I wouldn't say unsuccessful, but I was catching fish, don't get me wrong, but they weren't anything substantial or anything special, just sized Dhuis. You know, you're fishing all day to catch your bag, that kind of thing. But if you follow these methods that I've just explained, you'll head out, you'll find a new mark in an area that you like, because you've caught fish in that area. When I say area, within 5 kilometres, say. And you'll catch fish straight away. And you'll go home straight away. And you won't be spending all day slogging it out. You won't be spending all day trying to find new ground because you've just flogged the last one 20 times and there's nothing left on it. And I think it's key to remember that fish attract fish, right? So if there's no fish there after you've flogged it, they're not going to come back. Or it might take years to come back. And look, I've been guilty of this in the past where I would go to a mark and I know that there's Dhu fish there, so I'd go back there and I'd hit it again. And then I'd hit it again. And maybe pull off 20 Dhu fish over the course of a couple of years. And then, before I know, there's no Dhu fish left on there. And you go back there and it's blanks, and then you start one. Keep your spots sustainable, and I think this goes a long way to keep the fishery sustainable too, because these spots are generally good places for breeders. And if you're getting rid of them all, then fish in that area may not breed as well. But yeah, I hope this helps you anyway. So this weather's been absolutely pretty average. Punching into it. Seems to be like a northwester at the moment, which is never preferable. Pretty lumpy. And yeah, but hopefully we can get out to this area. Like I spoke, it's about 5k sort of area. And I've been catching some good jewfish off there lately. Some of the videos have come out with some big ones. And I want to explore a bit more around there and find some more marks. I think I've got about a dozen around there so far. But yeah, I can always go back to something else around that area if I feel time's running out during the day or whatever. But that's the advantage of having all these marks in those areas, see? But anyway, see how we go out there. Still probably another half an hour punch into this. I'll catch you out there. Yuck! Might not do so much exploring today. We might just try and smack it and go home. But it's been a while since I've been out. It's been about 4 weeks. So I don't know if the fish are still there, but we'll have a look anyway. Okay, we might fish on this mark. I mean, we haven't got the weather today, so I'll show you as we approach on it. You can see how it comes up. So it went from 47 to 45. There's a bit of fluff on top, and we haven't even got there yet. So as we approach it, I'll just show you the sounder shots. Sorry about the camera footage, it's just a bit bumpy. We'll see how it comes right up. Look at that. So there's a good show. Nice fluff on top. And that's it there. Almost. Sorry. It's hard trying to steer and show you the footage at the same time. So I've caught some dewies off this before. Over 15 kilo, one of them. So I know it produces. Alright, we're just about to go over where I've caught them. Right in this fluff here. Right there. Delicious. Now, I'm not looking for fish, a lot of people do. They look for the little blobs. But you can see that's nice weed and fluff that they can hide in. And you can turn the gain right up and do all that sort of stuff, but for me that's good ground. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn around in the direction that I think I'm going to drift. So zoom right in. Then I'm going to stop the boat while I rig up and see which way I actually drift. And remember, always make sure your motor position is in the same position for every drift to ensure you get the good drift every time. Alright, I'm just going to rig up. Alright, today we're going to use a chest cam because I had some feedback that my head moves around too much. So today, be keen for your feedback on how this goes with a chest cam. Ooh, feeling a bit drunk on this boat today. Okay, Oki. So pre-skinned these, so it should be a matter of just whacking them on. So nice big ocky legs. Using a vexed bottom meat. Looks like it got smashed up on the way up here and lost a bit of paint. That's alright. Keep the barb exposed, so I'll chop that little chunky bit off. Alright, and we should be ready to go. Alright, looks like we drifted in a complete opposite direction to what I anticipated, but this is why it's important. Seems we'll be drifting from a bit of a east, northeast sort of direction, so we'll go back around and line up the drift. And the drift is quite strong today. Looks like it's about 1.5 knots. So this is going to be a tough day. Try and hold bottom, but we'll see how we go. We're 200 grams first. Alright, so based on that drift line, we're going to go somewhere over here. I think. You can see that nice ground showing. And the good thing is nobody else has this mark. Oh, big blobs there. Look at that. Alright, let's see how we go. First drop. Hopefully you guys can see alright on the camera. Now I've just turned the motor in a little bit because I'm fishing by myself, just a slight in, and that gives me the advantage of it should drift on an angle like that with the boat. It's going that way at the moment, but could be some strong currents down there. I don't know yet. Alright, we're on bottom. Alright, we're just coming up to the ground now. Just make sure I'm on bottom. This drift's pretty strong. Yep, so see how it's lined up that way with a slight in-turn of the motor. It's shitty weather out there, but we'll see how we go. Again, lifting those bottom meats off the bottom, back down. Yeah, the drift is pretty strong today. Oh, there we go. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Good fish. Don't take long, first drop, eh? This is a good fish. I'm not winning anything, that's for sure. Well, could be here for a while. I forgot my gimbal. That's alright. Assassin rod's got a nice little cushy thing on the back. So, try and get the camera angle for you. Definitely a dewy. I'd say maybe 10 kilo, I'd guess, but I've been surprised before. You see it's coming up nice and slowly, and it's still fighting. This assassin rod is fighting it beautifully. Might be smaller than 10 actually. Doesn't feel that heavy. It's starting to rain. So, yeah. Oh, got colour. She's floating up. I think it might be bigger than what I think. Oh, what the fuck? Double header on a vexed. Well, I'll tell you what. I can just go home now. That is fucking ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. Look at that. My God. Alright, well, unfreaking believable. That's why I'd say that dewey's about 10 kilo. And I'd say that dewey's probably 5, probably 60, and this is probably 80 centimeters, I'd say, at a guess, maybe more, 85. Unbelievable. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we'll call it there maybe, because I don't see a point in fishing this weather, considering it's starting to rain. And on the Oshi jigger and Assassin Pitchmaster, blew it away. Now this is a female, which makes me think that there's some bigger boys down there too. So if you got this Ikime Jime tool, now spiking these fish, there's an app that you can download, and it has exactly where you need to spike the fish. Now I've been doing this for years, so I know exactly where to spike the fish, but if you're unsure, this is a great app, and it also shows you from the top side, and you can get an X-ray view as well. So we're going to spike it, so you can see there it's just 45 degrees on that angle from the eye, and in line with that sort of mark on the gills. So if you match that up, it's around there. All right, there, sorry. Yeah, so that's how you can make sure you pin them. All right, that one's goner. And we'll do this other one, just like that. Now we got to bleed them. So those who watch most of my video know, in the bucket first. And check out this gob. That's the tail of a gurnard. Alright, we wash them off once it's done bleeding. Wash them off. Underneath the ice. Oh. Now this fish wasn't going back, as you can see with the bulging eyes. Okay. Short day, but a short day is a good day. Right, detach the bait. It barely lasted one drift, and we'll go home. Might leave the reel out to get a wash in this rain. Alright, wash out the bucket. Make sure you always keep your rubbish. Never let. I always pick up rubbish when I see it floating in the ocean too. I hope you do your part. Alright, that's that. Look at that. The rainbow points to my Dhu spot. Pot of gold down there. The weather's pretty average. Rainbow points to heaven. Now, I thought I'd summarise the day. It wasn't what I expected in terms of the weather, as you can probably see behind me. But we got the fish, first drop, far out. It's not very often you get double hookups like that. But yeah, pretty crazy. And it was the first drop as well, which makes it even more crazy. I guess you could say the OG of one drop. But yeah, I guess now I'm going to enjoy, well, it was meant to be my lunch, but I guess now it's my breakfast. Nice ham and cheese toasty out of my oven. These things are freaking awesome. You don't need those expensive travel mates. Just go to Jime and get one of them for about, I think they're about 60, 70 bucks or something. And all melted and hot. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I've got plenty more advice coming in future videos. Also, don't forget we've got a Facebook page now, so that's just started up. You can happy for people to reach out if they've got any questions or even some feedback. I mean, that was the first time I've used the chest cam today, so yeah, let us know how that went for you. And yeah, also Instagram at WA Fishing Official. Yeah, I guess we'll catch you next time. I'm about to log off as I approach a ramp after I finish my lunch. And then I'll meet you back at home where we'll weigh up the fish. So put on the lie detector and actually see how heavy the fish was. And yeah, that's it. Catch you later, fishos. So back at home, and we'll give these fish away in a bit of a measure, and yeah, so that way you at least know I'm not lying. Alright, it's just over 80, and this one is, normally I let it go, but with the weather today it's maybe 57, 58, around there. A bit smaller than what I thought. It must be pretty lean. It's 8.5 roughly. That's alright, it's decent fish anyway. Let's see what's in their stomachs now. I think I mentioned this a few times in the videos. Always check what's in their stomach so you can match the hatch. Let's have a look. Now this one spat out Bit of a gurnard tail. And there's the rest of the gurnard. What else we got in there? It's a bit of octopus. Some sort of smaller fish. Looks like a baby balchin actually. Look at that, baby balchin. Let's see what's in this one. Some fish. It's always good to check your fish, the guts, to see what they're eating. But yeah, that's why I say big baits catch big fish.